Alrighty, folks. Welcome back to some more Minecraft. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. We're still in the cave from, like, the last episode or so. Maybe 2 episodes. We're still down here chilling. Ooh, he just shot the creeper. Okay, somebody mentioned to me that if you can get the skeleton to shoot the creeper, he might drop a music disc. Let's see if we can manage to do that. Well, never mind. Anyways, we're in the cave, and I have a topic of discussion for today, actually, which is something I usually don't have. Usually I figure it out on the fly. But I have a topic of discussion today that I think is going to be extremely relatable for a lot of people. The title will probably reflect it somehow. But I'm going to talk about something even worse than being in a relationship for a long time. More specifically, being in a friendship that you want to become a relationship for a long time. You see, I just listened to a video while I was in the gym, which is unusual of me. I don't really do that in the gym unless I'm like on the treadmill, which is where I started. I actually started, ooh, we got a spawner here. I was on the treadmill today, and I was just kind of doing some walking. There was somebody on the cable column, so I was just going to walk for a while. They ended up leaving. I kept the video in, which is very uncharacteristic. It's not a characteristic of me. I don't like to listen to anything while I'm lifting. Me personally, I just think it kind of takes away from the self-motivation aspect in your brain. But anyways, I'm listening to this video, and basically it's a guy talking about, basically what he's doing is people are calling in to him and asking him for advice on life. And somebody calls in and they say, look, man, I'm in a relationship with this girl for 5 years or 4 years, whatever it was. And out of the blue, she basically just told me like, hey, I want to put this on the back burner. I don't like, we should take a break because you can't provide for me financially. But mind you, he's coming out of college. Now, that doesn't sound extreme or anything like that, but then you hear that basically the entire 4 years they've never even like had sex, which is just crazy to go that long without it. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because I was actually in a friendship for 5 years. I was in love with this girl, all right? Like, I feel like this happens to a lot of people. They get their heart broken, blah, blah, blah. They hang out with a girl and they try to be the best friend there, and they hope that one day they can slide in and, you know, it'll turn into a relationship. And that's very much what I was doing, you know? I was best friends with her, and I obviously wanted what was best for her, but I thought I was what was best for her. So, like, I wanted to date her and that kind of sort of thing. And ultimately, obviously, that never worked out. Basically, 5 years of friendship went on, and, you know, nothing came of it. And then that friendship really died like a pretty nasty death. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I feel like there are so many other people out there who, you know, experience this. They go through something similar. They're in love with somebody, blah, 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 whatever. And they take years trying to convince this person that they're the right one for them and whatnot. And then, you know, it ends terribly because they never get what they wanted ultimately. And that's pretty tough. And obviously this kid, he had no idea what the heck, you know, to do with this situation. He was like, do I go back to her? Do I do this? Do I do that? And the guy was like, dude, you've been with this girl for this long and you've never even slept together. Like, she's played you. And this guy had never been with another girl either, so, like, he had nothing to compare it to. And basically, he let this girl play him. He was hoping for something that never happened. And then she left him at the first sign of, you know, like, financial discomfort. Mind you, she didn't have a job either. So, like, she was relying entirely on him to pull through, but clearly she wasn't interested anymore. And she kept him around for attention for 4 years straight. And so, like, that is essentially what happened to me. And I don't want that to happen to other people, man. You know, unless you have somebody in your life kind of telling you, and like you're actually recognizing it, you're listening to them telling you, hey dude, you're getting played, like don't continue to, you know, feed this fire, don't continue to give her the attention she's looking for, like you need to cut it off. Unless you have somebody like that in your life, whether it's a father figure or a friend, like that shit is probably, you know, never gonna get through to you. Wow, this is one of the weirdest caves I've ever been in. Like there's so many weird little nooks and stuff in here, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like it's toxic. The last thing you want to do is get stuck in a situation like that, and it's hard, you know, it's hard to know at the time and stuff like that, especially if you've never had a girlfriend before, like you've been together a long time, whatever it is. But you need to know when the time is to walk. And like there came a time later when I finally realized what a mistake all that was, and I wish I'd come to my senses sooner, but I didn't. Meanwhile, this whole time as well, I'm going to talk about this because you know what, this was a huge part of my life, and it was the first time I actually made a decision, I think, where I actually like really walked away from something that was, you know, big cave up there. That's probably into the underground river thing or whatever that I saw earlier. But I had a friendship going on during this, and she was into him. That's essentially what was going on the entire time. I was playing like third party, I was third partying the situation and trying to give advice. And this is also my friend who she's with, who, you know, over time, I realized what a fucking scumbag this guy was. It was all about him. He was extremely selfish. He didn't like to lose. So anytime he was losing or whatever, you know, he would like sway things his direction. And I mean, it came down to, this is a sign, guys, that you're with somebody who's, you know, I'm trying to find the right words for it, but I'm sure somebody you can relate where like you're playing a game and they don't want to lose so bad to the point where they're like change the rules and use something against you, like, oh, we're at my house, so it's my rules, and now they're going to like find a way to make you lose. Like even something as simple as a pickup basketball game, like that's what I'm talking about here. Back then, you just like you take it on the cheek, you don't care, you just say, okay, he's gonna be a baby, whatever. But what this is gonna translate to is bigger situations like this in later in life when things actually matter, and we're talking about like holding a friendship together and things like that. I just realized like how extremely toxic he was after a long time, and basically, you know, at the end of the day, I just decided to completely cast him out. Didn't really give a reason. I just said, fuck it, we're done. And that was also out of, you know, like, you know, anger and spite, because it's been 5 years, right? 5 years I was in this situation where I was in love with this girl and nothing came of it. And the whole reason it didn't come of it was because, you know, she was into my friend. And so you can definitely, you know, blame some of that on me. I'm not going to take zero accountability for that. Like I was also, you know, sitting there playing third party and trying to, you know, find ways of sliding myself into the situations and whatnot. Like it was unhealthy behavior all around. But what I realized was there was going to be no progress unless I just walked away from the situation. And since then, that has proven to be the right decision, because everybody in the friend group has also walked away from this guy. Nobody is friends with him anymore. So like, yeah, I know that also like I was being toxic there. Like, you know, the blame was shared, but you know, ultimately I know I made the right decision. By the way, that was a lot of like diamond ores all in one little section right there. I don't know how many that was, but it was quite a few. Look at that. There was a big vein there too. Pause. But wrapping this all back in, man, if you're in a situation like that, because I feel like love triangles are like a big ass like problem in the world today. You know, there's always one friend who's going to get the attention of the girl that the other friend likes. Like that's just the way that it goes. If you're going to be hanging out with certain people and then a girl comes into the equation and you like her, there's a good chance, especially if you're the ugly one, which I was, and the broke one, which I was, then, and also the weak small guy, which I was, then like the odds are just stacked against you if you're hanging out with people who are far more attractive, whose families have more money, like all, or more things going for them. I mean, there's plenty of people out there who definitely had more going for them. So like and that could have been like by personal decision. It could have just been the fact like I was not driven, you know, I was playing video games every day. I wasn't in the gym. I was nothing that a girl would want, really. Like if we're talking truth here, I was the exact opposite of what girls wanted, especially girls who were as attractive as she was. I mean, she was completely out of my league at that point. You could argue she probably still is, just from a genetic perspective. But like when it comes to the situation, like I was not in the clear for that, and I thought that I could be, and that was just delusion at that point. And so you need to find a way to like be honest with yourself and decide, okay, am I really right? Like, am I really cut out for that situation? Like, is this really something I deserve? Is it something that is just a fantasy in my head, or can I make it happen? And if so, how do I make it happen, right? Like for me, it would have been get in the gym, find a job, do things that are going to improve myself, because until you figure out who you are and until you improve yourself to the point where you can take care of yourself and things like that, how do you ever expect to take care of somebody else? It's just not something that's realistic, right? Like you have to figure out yourself before you can take on another person into your life and try to help them figure stuff out if they haven't even figured out who they are yet. You guys know what I'm saying? Like when you need to be conscious of the situations that you're in and decide whether or not they are worth it for you to continue pursuing, because like that friendship was toxic for a long time and I put up with it. I built up resilience to it. I just let shit happen all the time. Like there was an instance with the first girlfriend I ever had, girlfriend if you want to call it that. Like, you know, she was a nice girl and stuff, but it was never like a real thing. He's the one who set us up and then turned the tables on me and got jealous about it. He was mad that we were hanging out, and then on top of it, she broke up with me to then hook up with him. And I let all that shit fly. And I look back at that and I'm just going, why the fuck? Like, if I had any respect for myself at that time, there's no way I would have ever stayed in that friendship. I would have walked right then and there. But the point is, when we're young, we don't know. And that's why it's important to find people in your life who can kind of, you know, give you advice, sway you in the right direction. And I encourage all of you, if you're like consuming like brain rot, you know, on YouTube, that, or like on TikTok or whatever, start to listen to like male figures who you look up to. Like that's the best way I can put it for you, is to try to find that advice online, because like you could tell this kid that was talking about it was completely oblivious to the fact that he got played. Like he was not weighing it out to amount to that. He was pretty much saying, how do I, fix the whole situation and this and that. And he's like, dude, you don't, right? Like, it's time for you to walk. It's time for you to go pursue other avenues, better yourself, and try to find a different girl, to get some experience, because this poor dude got dragged along for 4 years. And then it is as easy as that, where they can just turn around and walk. I'm sure somebody has either gone through that phase in their life watching this right now, or is going through it right now. And so recognize the position that you're in. All right. If you're in a situation like that where, you're not getting what you're putting in, that's really what it comes down to, is value. Okay, everything in this world is a transaction of value, and every relationship you're in is also like amounted to a transaction of value. If she's not going to give back what she's taking from you, then she is not worth your time. And like, even when it comes to whatever, I hate the term situationship. That's just the dumbest shit ever. I can't stand that. But even when it comes to just hookups like that, where you're just in a little fling or whatever, having fun, like the at some point somebody will probably catch feelings, but assuming nobody does, assuming it goes exactly how you want it to go, you're giving what she's also giving back, right? Like, you're both in that relationship strictly for one thing, and that's sex, and that's it. That's all you guys are in for. And so as long as feelings don't change and things like that, then that is something where the give and the take is equal. Relationships are much more complicated than that. It comes down to finances, it comes down to emotional and physical connection. There's all kinds of things going on in there that make things way more difficult. And so it's harder to gauge the whole give take thing, but you just need to know that if you feel like you're putting way more in than you're receiving back, then it is not worth your time. That's called a negative ROI investment. One of the best things you can invest in is a partner, man. Like, it financially, emotionally, everything. Having a good partner that makes you better, that you also make better in the process, that is where you win. So really what you should do is just break down everything in said friendship or relationship and decide whether or not like the value is there. Decide, okay, is this valuable to me? Is it valuable to her? Blah, 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 so on and so forth. That's how you figure it out. And you can only take so much advice, right? Because you could take all the advice in the world and still never like get that through your head and end up, in a spot where, you're 4 years in and, nothing of that, what you have wanted has come out of the situation yet. That sucks. I thought for sure this was going to be at least 2 blocks thick. Okay, now I'm one-hitting zombies. I don't know what's up with that. It's hard for me to stay on track because I get torn off so easily in the other direction when I'm having conversations with myself like this, trying to break it all down to you guys. But hopefully this is making sense, and hopefully like you could kind of learn something from this one, because like this is important, man. You do not want to waste years of your life focused on a person who doesn't give a shit about you. So often people get dragged along for the ride, and like it's really sad. It's really sad to see people waste their time like that, and years of their life go by and they sit around. And you can argue so many people who are married do this as well. Like, they get into that relationship, they thought they loved this person, things change over time, and they don't ever want to leave out of fear of lack of financial stability, or the fact that they might not find somebody else. Guys, understand that like, if you're in a dark spot like that and you feel like you're not getting out of it what you're putting in, then there is somebody out there who will match that or even do more for you. If you're stagnant, if you're stuck and you never move from that position, then you're never going to, find out that those people are out there for you. Of course, I'm not sitting here telling people, yeah, go get divorced, go break up with your girl or whatever. But like, if the situation is looking like that, then it might be time to start thinking about it. You cannot let other people and their decisions and the way that they treat you dictate your life. It's unhealthy. It's not good for anybody. And, eventually, I mean, it will start to kill you. Don't be that guy, okay? Take care of yourself, and recognize when things are not in your favor and know when to move on. Now, something I will mention, though, that's really important is the fact that when you're in a situation like this and, you think that you've been being played and whatever and things are bad, you need to remember one thing, which is, like, those problems can be worked out, but you have to have the balls to have those discussions, to have those conversations, because if you never do it, then odds are they're never going to do it. They're never going to bring it up. And if that never happens, then you're really going to be in a hole there. You need to have the balls to have those hard conversations. I've had those conversations with my own girlfriend. It has been hard. It is not the easiest thing to do. I'm trying to find a water bucket right now, by the way, but I don't have one with me, so I guess I'm just gonna continue exploring somewhere else. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling about that. Hopefully you guys can grasp what I'm trying to say with that, because I mean, it's important. It's really important that you figure that out as young as possible. because the longer you go, the worse it's gonna get. Oh, look at that. We have some raw iron over here. That's cool. I guess I could just climb across, yeah, because I don't have the water bucket. I don't even like mine. Oh God. Oh, that could have been really bad. That could have knocked me into lava. Man, I don't even like mine iron anymore. I probably should, you know, just to have like as much of it as possible. Still have so many ores in that one chest that need to be like sorted through and mined up. I feel like mining all the useless ores on camera is just stupid. I might as well just look for diamonds, but I mean, at this point I'm mining gold and stuff, which is pretty much useless anyway. Also, I'm gonna batch a couple videos only because I have like some, I have to watch a house this weekend. And a dog, so I'm gonna have to have some videos on standby that I can like pretty much schedule to upload on certain days. But I'm thinking about doing every other day videos where I do one in front of the camera where I just talk about something, and then the other one where I play the game and talk about stuff, because I feel like I should upload every single day just to kind of keep things really consistent. And I might start to switch it up too. I might start to voice over Minecraft, like just play the game and have footage available, and then I'll voice over the topics so I can keep them a little bit more concise, I guess, so they make a little bit more sense to people, because I feel like I do go off the rails with my conversations a little too much with tangents and things. I don't know how easy it is for people to follow. I don't know if they just prefer to see gameplay, like at this point, I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to experiment with new ways of like, you know, recording and editing these videos. Let's see, have we been through here already? It looks like maybe partially. So we kind of came in here, it looks like, but not fully. Okay, this is reminding me very much of the cave that we have kind of under our base, or not under our base, but nearby. We have a cave very similar to this one. A lot of these big like pillar type structures going on. By the way, I think it would be really cool if they made it so that, so you know how you can use the glow sacks basically to make like the glowing paint picture frames or whatever. I think it would be really cool if they took these and they allowed you to apply them to your armor like an armor trim, or like maybe combine them with the resin. That would be cool. So let's say you have the ink sacks or whatever, you combine them with the resin, and then you could place that on your armor and have armor that emits light. Like, I think that would be a wonderful addition to the game. I got all kinds of ideas for this game, man. So many of them. Mojang needs to just hire me up, because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Having that enchantment on your boots in the end and stuff. What the heck was I calling that enchantment? Heel strike to keep your heels on the ground or whatever, or heavy heels. Something like that, I think, was what I was calling it. Just so you have, like, an enchantment on your boots, so when those stupid skulkers hit you with their little thing, you don't float up. I think that's a genius idea, man. I don't know. Am I the only one? Oh, my God. Don't get cornered by the creeper. Jeez, dude, this cave just keeps going. I can't believe there's no scope. Like, there is nothing Deep Dark related down here. He just did a 360. Did y'all see that? Dude went for a no-scope right before he died. Oh, there's some diamonds up there. Looks like we're pillaring up. I'm probably nearing the end of the episode here, just simply because we are about 30 minutes in. And I've already been talking quite a bit, so I think this is going to make a very easy upload, and I think that was a pretty good topic of discussion as well. You guys can let me know if you can relate to that at all. I feel like a lot of people can, you know, that they've gone through something similar, and hopefully if you have, that was helpful in helping you recognize it if you hadn't recognized it already before, and if you had recognized it, hopefully, like, you know, that was somewhat relatable for you. And if you haven't gone through it, be aware, man, that's something that pretty much everybody goes through. You know, it's not uncommon, and a lot of people deal with it, and the sooner you realize the I guess the warning signs of the value not being, you know, equal, then hopefully you'll realize that and you'll walk away from situations like that. Both friendships, this applies, by the way, to friendships, to relationships, to family, anything. Anytime you are dealing with another person at work, even with a boss or whatever, or your coworkers, if you are not getting out what you are putting in, it is time for you to move on, because you are more valuable than the environment that you are in. I dealt with the same thing at work. I will talk about that whole story at some point one day. I will not be making that video now, but just know, like, that is, you know, that is something that fueled me, and it made me realize it was time to walk away from situations like that. That situation was beyond toxic, and it was never going to change. So I know I made the right decision there as well. Anyways, that's a subject for another day. I'm going to try not to die here real quick, and then I'll find a nice little spot for a thumbnail, because holy crap, we are surrounded at the moment. Okay, that's enough, boss. All right, you've shot me like 8 times. Can you give me a break here? I want to try to get in this little amethyst nest down here for a nice little thumbnail. You guys know I absolutely love these little amethyst nests. These are amazing. I love them. They're such a great addition to the game. But I am going to go ahead, I think, and call it right here, as long as I don't get mugged right now by a skeleton. I try to figure out the right way to like cast light at myself. Is it just light blocks? I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. All right, I know, like I said, these are shorter ones, but I like to keep them shorter and a little bit more concise. So as always, hopefully in the next one we'll be able to like clear out this cave a little bit better. I might do it off camera and just kind of start fresh in a new video like outside the cave, but we'll see. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Everybody, as always, take care, sleep tight, have a good night. Thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.